AITA for throwing away food I know my GF wanted? I am not the OOP. OOP is you, Inevitable Pangolin 45. AITA for throwing away food I know my GF wanted? Originally posted to r. Am I the asshole? Original post March 18, 2023. I 24. M. Live with my 23. F. GF and recently threw away the leftovers of a meal I cooked because she said she wanted to try some. For a bit of background, when we moved in together we agreed that we would each only cook for ourselves and use our own dishes. My idea. The issue is sometimes she will now ask if she can have a bite of the food I am cooking, just to try it, or wants to eat some of the leftovers I cook, and then she offers to cook for both of us the next night. She now claims that it's a ridiculous rule to have and that I should grow out of the rule by now. On to the incident. I had made a stir-fry and was finishing putting the leftovers in a container when she blatantly told me to just leave it out so she can have some. I of course said no and that I don't want her to eat what I cook, and put it in the container and into the fridge and started to leave the kitchen. I went to the living room to grab my phone before going back to the kitchen to grab a drink when I saw my GF pulling my food out of the fridge and taking the lid off. I went over to the counter and grabbed the container and dumped the food in the trash to prevent her from eating it. She stayed silent the whole time until finally calling me an asshole and storming off. I don't really think I am the asshole, as we agreed to this arrangement before moving in. I knew it might be a problem, but some friends said it's time to move on from my weird obsession and just share food already. So AITA? A few important things might be: we don't share any food, even spices, and do not share any food costs. I have never once wanted to eat the food she makes, or used her cooking ingredients. I always let her go first when cooking in the kitchen. I don't cook for friends or family either. Verdict: asshole. Relevant comments: Miriam Athome. YTA 4. Imposing such a weird and stupid rule that she probably assumed you would relax like a normal person. Throwing out perfectly good food rather than let her taste it. Failing to get therapy for whatever anxiety is driving your weird and stupid rule. 2 separate salt shakers? 2 bottles of ketchup? Side-by-side cartons of eggs? Really? Exactly what tragedy do you think might ensue if the two of you shared a single jar of paprika? Precisely how do you think she would get sick from having a bite of food you're eating safely? Please do not even consider the possibility of thinking about maybe perhaps having a child until you get over yourself on this topic. Oop replied. Yes, it is a bit of a logistical nightmare. I just keep all of my dry goods and dishes in my room to give her more space in the kitchen. What I gain out of having separate paprika and other food is knowing exactly what has happened to it. Just because I haven't gotten sick in the past doesn't mean I won't mess up in the future. And kids are way down the line for us. 5+ years. Distinct Inspector 2. Your GF is pretty upset. How have you avoided uncomfortable feelings? I'm being totally genuine here. There is give and take and a process of growth together in a relationship. This will not get better with time. Only worse. More uncomfortable. It's no longer about food for your GF. Oop replied. We mainly avoided uncomfortable feelings by being clear with communication. I went over this issue many times before moving in and after we moved in together. I think she just assumed it's something that wouldn't last for more than a few months or so. I can see it's no longer about food for her, but that's really all it is about for me. Update April 1st, 2023. I am not sure if anyone will even see this post, or even care, but here is an update. I lied about a few things in the other post. Lying on the internet? I am shocked. The ages were a lie. And we are both guys. I was just trying to make my unique situation less noticeable in case someone recognized me. It doesn't matter now though if he sees this post. We broke up. There was just no trust about the food issue and he wouldn't stop trying to eat my food. I looked into and got locking containers that can go in the fridge, but he said it was a violation of trust and broke up with me. I don't really get how I was the one being untrustworthy, but oh well. I will probably go back to the dating scene and try to find someone else who respects my boundaries. But I think that might be hard to find someone as good. We both lived in our bedrooms. I don't think I will be able to find someone as good as that, honestly. That is why the whole food thing confuses me, tbh. He was perfectly okay with having separate bedrooms. I think he preferred it too, tbh. But was not okay with having separate food. IDK. Humans are unch. No point in trying to understand others, I guess. In regards to commenters saying I need therapy, I am pretty against that. My quirks are part of who I am. I would rather find someone who is okay with them than change myself. I know that will be very hard. Maybe impossible. But I will keep on trying. If anybody does read this, sorry for the poor grammar and spelling. I am tired and going to bed, but didn't know if the account would still be logged on in the morning. Just came back to this PC to see it's still logged in. If it is still logged on, cool. I don't think I will respond anyways. I don't have anything else to say, I think. I don't know what else to do, so I will do a fake Q and a here. Q. What is your favorite color? A. Gray? Or blue or purple? Q. You sound like a horrible person. A. That's not a question. Q. Why are you a horrible person? A. I don't think it's fair to say one's unique comforts and discomforts makes them a horrible person. I also don't think it's fair to force them to be uncomfortable to better fit in. Q. That's a stupid response. A. Yep. Q. What's your favorite animal? A. I like plants a lot. I don't think that counts though. In fact, that's a requirement for a dating partner. He has to not want pets. They are too chaotic and unnecessary. Q. Will you be okay? A. Yes, the breakup was a bit ago. I am fine then and I'm fine now. Only thing that has really changed is I no longer have anyone to do romantic stuff with. Q. What's the deal with the kids? A. IDK, I was just making stuff up there, tbh. We hadn't discussed kids too often. But if we did have kids, I don't see what I suggested being that much of a problem, tbh. Q. Can I date you? A. Anybody who is asking that after seeing these Reddit posts is not serious. Yes, I am that egotistical to think someone might want to date me. Q. Who are you really? A. I am not giving any more personal info. Thankfully I lie to my coworkers, so all of this stuff doesn't equal me to them. I guess that's all I have to say. I don't mean to sound so mean to myself in the questions and answers. Just kind of answering some stuff I got in private messages. If you don't think I sound mean enough, then sorry. If it makes you feel better, I don't think of myself as a good person. Not because of this whole ordeal, but more so lack of me doing good deeds. I am not the oop. This guy can't date people seriously if he can't handle sharing space with them. I sometimes worry I'm too set in my ways and can be difficult. From now on I'll remember that there are proper nutcases that won't even share a salt shaker with their partner, and I'll not feel so bad anymore. In regards to commenters saying I need therapy, I am pretty against that. My quirks are part of who I am. Oop thinks his issues are character. What on earth is that Q&A? Besides being wasteful, the OOP has some major control issues they need to sort out before subjecting someone to dating them. Yikes, I shared more than this with my sweet mates in college who I barely knew. I would rather find someone who is okay with them than change myself. This guy is gonna make a lot more people unhappy. Oop should not be in a relationship. Oop is either 3 years old, a survivor of extremely severe trauma, food insecurity, or suffering from a severe mental health issue such as particularly symptomatic OCD or an advanced eating disorder. He took "Joey doesn't share food" and ran with it as his whole personality. Dude has some horrid past trauma. I don't understand. If he absolutely has to cook his own food, why can't he just cook for both of them and then his ex-partner could take on the entirety of a different chore? Eesh. OCD can be a nightmare on its own. But combine that with someone who has no ability to assess that their behaviors are so out of the norm that they actually need medical attention is frightening. Good on X for moving on. I want to put this person under a microscope and study him. How do you get to this point? How do you live your whole life and enter into adulthood with the idea that this kind of boundary is anything but wasteful? I think his best bet is to find a partner with a food intolerance or some other kind of restrictive diet, because they'll at least be used to this kind of separation of groceries and cooking. So he really just wants a roommate who he can have sex with, right? What even? Quirks. This guy needs serious professional help, but clearly he's not interested. Oh well. Oop needs therapy, not a new relationship. The refusal to share any aspect of food for no discernible reason aside, Oop seems to minimally have some undiagnosed issues. The way he says he lies to his coworkers for no reason, invents hypotheticals, then answers them himself, and his odd focus on inconsequential details while ignoring glaring social context suggests some form of atypical thinking. There is a need for therapy and intense self-reflection.
If you enjoyed this video, please check out our playlists full of similar content. Epicaricast is like doom scrolling for your ears. Please like, share, and subscribe.